What a beautiful day it is today. I hope this video finds everybody doing well, and maybe you can hear the birds chirping and chirping and singing their songs. I just wanted to say hello to everybody and let you know that I've been getting your emails, and I just want to say thank you. It feels good to know that I am missed from the Mississippi Talker channel. And I got to tell you, though, it feels kind of odd to be making a video for Deep. Even though I set the channel up the middle of last year knowing that it would eventually come to this, me having to film on the new channel of Deep instead of Mississippi Talker. It's just, I feel like I'm stuck. It's hard for me to get my words out because it's just a different energy. And I want to address this real quick because many of you have been asking me, well, what's going on? I don't understand what's going on. And I understand that because most of you already know. I have subs that follow me for different reasons because Mississippi Talker has always been a variety channel. You get songs there. You get the Potts Holler crew of Ida Mae, Viv and Lorraine, those characters there of parody and comedy. And then you get serious talk about RH negative blood type, and then some serious talk when it comes to spiritual matters. And then you get some of my ranting and my raving whenever I'm in a mood. You just never know what you're going to get at Mississippi Talker. So there's different subs that come for different reasons, and depending on what I title it, different ones come in. And very few are even going to be familiar with the Deep channel because I've had to take down all of my videos. And I do want to stress to y'all, this is not a YouTube thing. YouTube did not demand me to take down any videos. I had to do this myself. And because of the reason being, most all of y'all that are my subs, you already know some of my past. I was a nurse. I worked with a police department, sheriff's department. You also know about some of my entertainment past of singing and motivational speaking and who my producer was. All of y'all know that. And some of you, you watch all the videos, don't matter what I'm doing. But some that don't, you wasn't following along enough to know that I had to kind of let out a little bit more about my personal life because I had to step back into the scene after years and kind of start doing a little bit of what I was doing before. And to just put it to you bluntly, I was seeing harassment, bully type behavior, all kinds of things happening with autistic people and people with other mental as well as physical disabilities. And so it took me some time, and I do what I do, and I'm about to get all of those reports wrapped up. And I don't just report to the people that work with me, I have to report to the people way over what we do. And so due to that, and I also get trolled, and I stand the danger of doxing and possible stalking of my physical self. So I took down all of the videos, and I knew this was going to happen, and that's why the Deep channel was created the middle of last year. And until all of this is turned in and I get clearance, I will not be back at the Mississippi Talker channel to upload anything. But some of you will see me still in your live chats under Mississippi Talker with my owl logo. And then there's some that seeing me as Deep. It just depends on what chat I'm in. And that's all I can say about that. So I hope that answers your question. And also, to those that are sending me email about the RH negative videos and wanting to know when I'm going to get back to those. I just need to tell you that the reason those videos came down even before all of this is because I got up one day to a strike on one of the videos, and they didn't give me a chance to take it down, to make it private, nothing. And it really upset me because that particular video was my own personal testimony of what happened to me. And the strike on it said that it was false information. Well, number one, if it's my personal testimony, it is not false information. That is true, absolute truth. But I know why they did it, because when I put it up, it was around the time that, and I'm going to talk in code here, the CVD came out, and they were talking about the JAB and the need for a VAX, okay? Well, we know that Rh negative women are always presented with ROGAM, which is a VAX that is with a JAB. So AI picked that up. And due to that, that particular video was, bam, crushed. So I immediately went to my file of all of my Rh negative videos, and I put them all on private, because I figured that AI would also pick up on those if I had mentioned ROGAM in it. And there was a possibility I would get 2 more strikes, and after 3 strikes, your channel is down. So that was protection of the channel. I've also wondered, well, will I talk about Rh negative again? I don't know, because I know that if I do, I will have to speak in code. And this has upset me. It's aggravating all the way around. Not just with that, but everything. Everything, they seem to want everything to be so politically correct, you know? And what is politically correct? I guess just whatever they want to brainwash you with the next time. Indoctrinate you with. And I'm so above that stuff. I came out of indoctrinations a long time ago. And it just makes me sick to think that I have to go along with any of that just to get a message out there. Now, I'll bend like a willow tree to a point, but I'm not going to bend to the point that my limbs start to go cracking, because I'm going to snap eventually. Y'all know how I am, those of you that know me. But anyway, until I can get back to Mississippi Talker, I'm just going to do these videos as I can. And I almost feel like I've got I don't know, like a hand over my mouth, because I'm not really sure how to do Abba Deep. I really want to build the channel up, but I don't feel like I'll be gone from Mississippi Talker very long. I've had to, most of you know about my past, a lot of it. You know that I was a nurse, and you also know I worked with the sheriff's department for a while, and as a first responder and other things. But I ended up having to step out of my comfort zone and take on something that I thought I was done with and would never do again. But I was seeing people with autism and other mental disorders and physical disabilities and things like this happen. And these grown people, from the ages of 30s up to the 60s, trolling, terrorizing these people, vulnerable people. And being a person that's got the kind of experience I do in nursing, as well as law enforcement and other things, I'm just not going to go into it. There's no way I can sit back and watch this stuff and not do something about it. God did not let me go through all of this training, as well as my own traumatic experiences, to sit back. As a matter of fact, I think all humans have a duty to protect one another. The sick, the elderly, the vulnerable, children. All of us have a duty to do that. But those that are special trained with knowledge, they especially have a duty. Those that have sworn oaths, the Florence Nightingale oath, the police oath, they for sure have a duty to do something. And it brings on a hard life. It's not fun. There's nothing at all fun about it. you are under a constant threat of trolling, stalking. You got to have eyes in the back of your head all the way around. You've got to have protection all the time. But I have peace with them, no matter what's going on. God has shown me, I'll be 60 years old soon, and God has shown me just how strong His hand of protection is. I've got seen and unseen protection around me all the time. And my unseen protection has always been my greatest. It is definitely spiritual. And it's taken me over a year to wrap up this one case, and it's almost completed. And that's why I know it won't be long till I can go back to the Mississippi Talker channel. I thought it was going to be a lot longer, and I would have to have this Abba Deep channel for at least a year. But thankfully, that's not the way it's going to be. So until I do get back to Mississippi Talker, I will continue to take time from time to time to say something on here. And I'm thankful for that. And I'm also wondering, too, if the time's going to come that I'll be moving to a different social media. I've been having that gut feeling probably for the past 2.5 years. And it won't go away. I'm not going to go into all that right now because, I don't have very long to make a video. But I've been doing a lot of traveling over 3 states, and a 4th state is about to be added. And it's like everything started happening all of a sudden. Some of you may be familiar with the video I did around Christmas. It's down now, but I was talking about how I'm going into the 10th year now without my son, and I could feel something that was different. I knew my life was going to change, and it has changed. Where everything was once so stagnant, and I couldn't find any purpose or meaning in my life anymore. It's like, boom, January came, and I remember saying 23 is going to be 23 and me. It just dropped into my mind. And since January, everything has just been like, it ain't a flood yet, but compared to what I've had, it's been a flood. And I know that it's about to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's almost overwhelming. And I'll tell y'all sometime about a visitation I had in 2007 from angels, light beings, people that have passed over to give me a particular message straight from the throne of God of a prophecy that was going to come upon me. And this is part of that prophecy. But I'll wait until I know I can tell it to you and it make perfect sense. And I'm not going to be rushed. But things are happening, and I know I have to be prepared for it. But I do feel that there's going to be a different media platform coming up. But my main reason for today is to try to answer some of your questions I've been getting in email, to let you know why this Abba Deep channel is here. And I'll be sharing this over to the community page of Mississippi Talker. But that's why it's here. And why I'm not doing anything active on the Mississippi Talker channel as far as singing or any personal videos like I'm doing right here. I don't want to get it too complicated, especially now that I know that Mississippi Talker will get to start making, I can start making videos there again. I'm just waiting on certain steps to be, finalized steps to be done in what I've been working on for the past year with taking care of these particular cases with autism and other disabilities of these trolls and possible stalkers threats, things like that that's been made against these people, and helping their parents or other uh, caregivers, responsible parties, teaching them how to report these things for themselves, and also just trying to get it out into the community. And once all this is done, I have an opportunity to actually get this out into the media, and maybe even a small documentary done to bring attention to how these things happen to these kids. I say kids, but many of them are grown. But how these things happen to people with these type of disorders and disabilities, and grown people actually do this. And one thing I found really, really disturbing is the people that I have been investigating are anywhere from their early 30s all the way up to mid 60s. And it's not just men, it's women. And it is sickening, some of the things that I have learned. And it's not just me. I don't work alone. And when we start comparing our notes, it keeps me up at night sometimes. It's I'm an advocate really for both sides. You say, well, how can you do that? People are so bad to do something like that. Well, they are, but I've realized too that some of these people, they are on the spectrum of Asperger's and or autism, and some are not. But so many people fall into these type groups because they're looking for acceptance somewhere. They need to belong to a group, and it's become like a gang. It's a cult. And I've worked with so many people in my past that are gangs, gang mentality, drug addicts, alcoholics, just different types of people on a psychological level. So I don't want to see anybody get into trouble and have to spend time in prison to finally get their shit together. So I went out further, and I put myself at risk by coming out and letting people know straight out, this is what I do when it comes time. If I see this going on, I'm going to take action. Because I feel that every human being has a duty as a human being to protect those vulnerable, whether they are young or old, sick, poor, whatever. If you see somebody bullying another person or causing harm to another person, we have a duty to report it, to take action. But if you are a person like me that has taken an oath, the Florence Nightingale oath for one as a nurse, and you've taken an oath as a law enforcement officer on any branch, and you have the training, the experience, and also the experience as a victim, and you've overcome, you more than have a duty. You more than have a duty. And I want to know that I can lay my head down every night and know that I did the best I could do for that day. I want to know if I'm walking around in the daytime and I've drawn my last breath, I've done everything I could do until that last breath. No matter what kind of hatred I get or whatever, I don't care. I do everything I can do for the next generation and that generation and that generation. I know that things are so much worse now than it was when I was a child. And that's sad. All I can do is try to make it better for the next one. I had one of the trolls to tell me that it's my fault as a baby boomer that things are so bad for this generation. And in some ways, I can agree. But in other ways, hell no, it's not. I know what I've done, and I can't be the only one. You got some good people out here. I've given up everything to try to make a better life for you, and your children. So don't holler that at me just because I'm of a certain age. Some of it depends on you. What are you doing? What are you willing to do? Other than sit back and bitch and complain and holler at me. I won't go no further than that. But anyway, it's a beautiful day today. I thought I'd come outside and enjoy it for a minute. But I just want everybody to know I love you. Friend or foe, most people pick that for themselves when it comes to me. You're always welcome to come back as a friend once you realize I'm not going to put up with your crap. Because I can be loving at all times. But just because I'm a female and I'm getting on up in my age, which I think actually is young. Most young people say, oh golly, you're so old. But I promise you, 60 is not old. It definitely is not old. 70 is not even old. Work as long as I have in the nursing homes and stuff, you'll see what old is. That's not old. But I say, be thankful when you can meet an older person. Be quiet. Sit down and shut up and listen for wisdom. I promise you, the younger people you're hanging with do not have the wisdom that your elders do. I, to this day, sit down and I shut my mouth when I get around somebody older than me that I know is still in their right mind, and I soak up every word they say like a sponge. And even those that aren't in their right mind, I listen because I know they're still dropping me nuggets of truth all the time. And with that, I'm going to leave you with Theost, one of those hosting enlightenment of spiritual thought, always with the consideration of 153. As I tell you all once again, I appreciate you, I need you, and I thank you for letting me know that you miss me. And I can't wait to get back to Mississippi. Mississippi. Take care, everybody. I'll be back again soon, Lord willing.